morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started with our chin tucks and our head turns before we move into our first block, which will be our warm-up block. All right, so we're going to lengthen through our spine here, really sitting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down. And we're going to chin tuck back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's maintain that length through the spine. We're going to do our head turns, 5 each direction, alternating. Let's get ready. 1, back to center. 2, back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and get ready for our warm-up block. We're just going to keep this in line. Everything's going to be 9-minute blocks today. 45, 15 is our time format. Of course, you can always adjust that like usual if you need to stop early or start late with that time frame. The first exercise is going to be our 4-count cherry picker, and we're going to do an overhead reach. So it's going to look like this. Our feet are wider than shoulder width. We're going to reach outwards. Do it this way. We're going to reach towards the middle. We're going to reach inwards, and then we're going to reach up. Okay. Now you can take that reach up out if it's uncomfortable. Okay. Now seated, same thing. Out, middle, in, and option to lift up. Okay. That's our first exercise. Our second is going to be a lateral 3-count march. So you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, so a little bit of movement there. We take the lateral portion out if we're seated. We're still going to do the 3-count and hold though. Okay, and then our final one is going to be our alternating bow and arrow twist. So we're going to pretend like we're pulling back on a bow. Okay, that elbow. And then we're coming back to center, pulling on the other side. So looks the same standing here. I want to show you from the side because I want you to see how my elbow stays up shoulder height. I'm not bringing it down. Okay, I'm keeping it up shoulder height. Okay, and I'm going to twist and follow that elbow back. Okay, so there's a little bit of rotation here as we pull back and come back to center on each side. All right. So they are 3 moves. I'm going to do round 1 seated. Okay, so we're going to go to our 4-count cherry picker with the option to reach overhead at the top. Feet are outside the shoulders. Let's get ready and begin. Out, middle, inwards, and up. Okay, no force and keep going. Just my buzzer is really loud here. So just waking up the spine and the shoulder joints here. My sandbag. Getting those hips moving. Warming up the back of the legs. Good. About 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to go to that lateral 3-count march. Okay, so we're kind of marching to the side. On 3, we hold on that one leg just for a second and time. And if you're going to be seated with me this first round here or for all the rounds, but the lateral portion's obviously not going to happen because we're seated. Okay, so let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold. So 3 is actually your hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, you're trying to work for that opposite hand foot pattern too, right? So if my left knee is up, my right hand is up, okay? Five more seconds here. 3, 2, and time on that one. Okay, and now the final one in our warm-up segment here, we're going to do this 2 more rounds. is that bow and arrow. Okay, so we're twisting, or we're following that elbow with our hands, and we're feeling that twist through our spine here, and bringing it back to center. So we're going to pull back, bring it back. All right. Seated or standing here. Okay. And then for our second round, I will move to standing for the exercises, but if you are seated and you'd like to stay seated, please feel free. I just want to make sure I demonstrate both like usual. And it's been a while since we've done these sets where we do these 9-minute blocks and get 3 exercises done and then move on. Okay, time on that. We're going back to the beginning. And sometimes it's fun to bring it back to, if we haven't done it in a while. All right, so feet are wider than shoulder width apart, seated or standing. Ready? Here we go. We're going to reach out, reach middle, reach inwards with an option to reach up. Okay. Gently waking the body up here. Go as at your own pace, at your own tempo. And remember, you don't have to stay the whole 45 seconds. If you need to go shorter, that's fine too, okay? Time, our lateral 3-count march. Remember, if you're seated, you're not gonna be moving side to side, but we are still working on that 3-count and that pause and opposite hand and foot. Ready? And begin. So it's 1, 2, and on 3, you hold. 1, 2, on 3, hold. Trying to get those knees up nice and high. Okay. Warm up the body here, get that blood flowing. 5 more seconds here. And time. Okay, last one, our alternating bow and arrow. Okay, so get your drinks as you need it. All right. Let's get ready, seated or standing. We're gonna begin. Pull back. Oh, gaze is following the elbow. So we feel this rotation through the thoracic spine, right? Twisting through the upper body here, working the back of the shoulder by pulling back, upper back here, keeping that elbow high, keeping the elbow shoulder height. 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to go through those 3 movements one last time. 2, and time. Okay, final time through. Okay, widen that stance, whether you're seated or standing, to just outside the shoulders. All right, let's get ready. I'm going to do this one from the side profile and begin. So I'm kind of reaching outwards, reaching in the middle, and reaching inwards, standing up, pressing up. Remember that overhead press is an option. Move at a pace that's good for you. Okay, we are kind of lifting up and down with the body here. So if you feel any type of dizziness or anything like that, slow down, take a break, or move to seated if you're not already. The last 10 seconds of this exercise. 3, 2, and time. All done with those. Going into our final round of our lateral 3-count march, okay? Or you can do the seated, just the 3-count march, okay? And 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3. Hold on, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? You're just trying to find that balance, that neuromuscular control where your body reacts and says, okay, we just stopped, and now I got to stay still in that where I stopped, right? Trying to pick those knees up high, whatever that looks like for you, okay? Almost there. 3, 2, and time on those. Okay, final warm-up move. Back to our bow and arrow, okay? So either seated or standing. We're gonna bring both hands forward, all right? And let's get ready to pull back and begin. Pulling one elbow back, following that elbow back with the eyes. Back to center. I'm exhaling as I twist and coming back to center. Feel how your upper body, that rib cage, as everything is moving here, twisting and rotating. Almost done here. We have 5 more seconds, then we're going to move on. 2, and time. All right, nice work. 9 minutes done right there in our warm-up. Second block, we're going to go into our squat. So I'm going to give you the option for your standing squats. If you prefer your sit squat, okay, with or without weight, you can hold weights right here. You can hold weights right here, okay? Or you could hold weights at your side like this too, or just go body weight, okay? You can either do a sit squat, set it all the way down and drive it up, or if you prefer just to do your regular squat without coming all the way down to the seat, all right? You can do this right here with or without weights, and with the weights either up at your sides or up at your chest or down at your sides, okay? So please pick what feels good for you. Either is fine. Our seated variation is like usual, our alternating leg extensions. Our second exercise is our hinge and row. Okay, so feet underneath the hips. We're gonna row, squeeze the glutes to come up to standing, okay? Looks the same seated. And then our third exercise is our hammer curl. So the knuckles stay out to the sides, okay? Hammer curl with the option to overhead press. Now, if the overhead pressing does not work for your body, okay, that's fine. It's not going to work for everyone. Give me your bicep curl. Take the press out, okay? All right, so 3 rounds through, just those 3 exercises, okay? We're going to start with our squat. Remember, you can do a sit squat or a squat without the chair, okay? Just raise up and down, okay? Weights can be up here or weights can be down at your sides. I'm going to do round 1 seated. As usual, I'm going to do the alternating leg extensions. And I'm just going to hold the weights at my side while I do it. Why not? Okay, so let's get ready here. All right, so pick which one is going to work for you in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so here I go, my seated variation. And I'm just going to hold these dumbbells in my hands while I do it. All right. This helps work on grip strength too, right? Just by holding a little bit of extra weight in the hands here. If you're doing your sit squat, your weights can be this way, or you don't have to use weights. Remember, the other option is to go ahead and hold them up near your chest as well. Good. And maybe you want to play around. Maybe you want to do one of the variations each per round, okay? If you want a little more variety. 2 and 1. Okay, so the next one is our hinge and row. Okay, so feet are underneath our hips, toes are forward. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready to push those hips back. All right, find that neutral spine, row it, pulling, keeping the elbows close to the rib cage, and then using the glutes and hamstrings to bring yourself back up. Remember, we're working the back muscles behind the rib cage, all right, our lats, but we're also working our glutes and our hamstrings here, okay? Some of our lower back through the hinging motion that we're doing in between our row reps. 2 for 1, right? I like this one a lot because, and time, because it helps alleviate any too much tension on the lower back too, because we're standing up to give ourselves some rest from that bent over position. All right, last one is our curl to press. Okay, hammer curl. Remember, so our knuckles stay out to the side, and that looks the same when we press. Curl, press, bring it back. Remember, take the overhead press out if that's no good, and just stick with that hammer curl right here, okay? And please tailor this. Think about, say you're okay with going overhead, but every once in a while it feels uncomfortable. Maybe doing 5 hammer curls and then 1 overhead press is a better option, or 3 hammer curls and 1 overhead press. Okay, find your own little pattern and do what works best for you. Okay, I encourage you to explore, you know, what feels good for your body. And time. Okay, so that is round 1. So we are going back to the top. Okay, so if you're seated, you're alternating leg extensions. I'm going to do 1 each round. I'm going to move to my sit squat next. And then the final round, I'm just going to do a squat without the chair. Okay, my feet are about shoulder width apart. I'm going to lower down and drive up. I'm choosing to keep the weights at my side today. But again, you can also have them up here. Or you can choose to use no weights. I'm pressing through the heels of my feet when I go ahead to stand up, because it's really going to help with the contraction I'm trying to make in my glutes as I'm standing up. I'm pressing through and I'm squeezing my glutes. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, nice work. Curl to press. Okay, hammer curl to press. So remember, when I say hammer curl, that means you just keep your knuckles out to the side, all right? And it flows right into your overhead, your neutral grip press as well. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. And remember, take that overhead press out if you need to, or find a number that works good for you, okay? Standing, I'm keeping my glutes engaged, especially as I'm pressing overhead. Helps give me a strong, stable core here. Almost there. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time on that one. Okay, moving. Or did I mess that one up? Did I do squat? We were supposed to do our hinge and row, so I'm going to add that in. If you did your hinge and row, if you caught my mistake there, you do your curl and press now. Otherwise, I believe we're going back to our hinge. Okay, so I'm pushing the hips back. My spine is neutral. Right, we're trying to prevent, we don't want to round. See this right here? If we can prevent that, that's what we want to do. We want to pull our shoulders back. And that might look better, like, you know, you may not come down as far, and that's okay. Okay, you don't have to come down as far per se, but you do want to try to keep that neutral spine. 2, and time. Okay, so we're back to the top. One more time through. Back to our squat option. You can do a sit squat, a body weight, or I mean a squat without the chair, or your seated option, which is the alternating leg extension. Feet are about shoulder width apart. And this last round, I'm going to hold my weights up. So I'm just showing different variations here. You can do what feels right. I'll do it from the side here. Still driving through the heels of my feet. Remember, the 45 seconds is just a guide. So if you need to take a rest and get a drink or anything like that, that's fine. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. I'm going to just keep with that curl to press next, and we'll finish with the hinge and row, since that's how I did it last time. So let's go to curl to press here, seated or standing. Okay. If you're standing, you're thinking of keeping those glutes engaged to give you a nice base of support here. And take out the overhead press if it's too much. Maybe something like this looks better. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 1 press. Okay, you see how you can design this in a way that works good for you. Okay, so play around with that. You pick your reps. Maybe it's 2 and 1, 3 and 1. Last 2, 1. Okay, final round of our hinge and row, either seated or standing. Our feet come underneath our hips, our toes are facing forward. All right, remember, we're trying to keep that spine nice and neutral. So here we go. We're going to start by pushing our hips back. As we push our hips back, our head takes a bow, right? I have a soft knee. I'm not locked out at the knee. When we're rowing, we're working our lats in our back behind our rib cage. And when we're hinging, we're stretching through the hamstrings and glutes. And then as we come back up to standing, we're squeezing and contracting them. Ten more seconds here. No, I lied. That's 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. Moving right along. That's our second block. All right. So doing 3 rounds of each, and then kind of moving on from those exercises. Our next block, lunges. Okay. Alternating lunges. Okay. So remember, you have options here of holding with 2 hands, okay, on either side of your chair, right? Stepping out, lowering down, driving up, stepping in, okay? And then to the other side. So remember, that's a 4 count, all right? Or you could do it from the side. You may be advanced here and you don't need as much balance here, okay? So you could just do 1 hand on the side of a chair here, okay? Or you could do no hands, okay? Some of you are very advanced and you can do it without holding on to anything. Just knowing that something's close by for you is enough. Our seated variation is like usual, or at the edge of our chair, alternating leg press, okay? The next exercise is our rope pull. So we're doing body weight rope pull. This is where we put just a slight bit of intensity into this. It's like we're a little bit angry as we're pulling something down here. All right, get that intensity going there. It's okay to feel a little breathy on that one, okay? And then our last one is tricep, and that looks the same seated or standing. And then our last one is tricep kickback. So we're just gonna kick back. We're not gonna do the tap back today unless you feel comfortable, unless you want to, okay? You know how this is how we usually do it. And the only reason why I'm saying we're not gonna do that today is because we're pairing this with lunges. So after we're done this exercise, we're going to lunges again, which is back to single leg movements. So I'm suggesting we just stay still here with the lower body and focus on feeling that sensation through the back of the arm, okay? So that looks the same seated or standing. So All right, we're going to start with round one here, starting with our lunges. So pick your poison on those, okay? Both hands on the chair, one hand on the chair, or no hands on the chair, or you're gonna be with me, which I'm doing round one here with my seated leg press. Let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So if you're with me, kind of scooped back, imagining I'm pressing something really heavy away from me with the heel of my foot. Good. We have 15 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time. Okay. Moving into our rope pull. Okay. So if you're standing, make sure you're keeping your glutes engaged. Okay. Keep your glutes squeezed. Your feet are underneath your hips as we exhale. Okay. Here we go. 10 more seconds. Feeling my body temperature elevate. 2 and 1. Good. Whew. Whew. Feel my heart rate go up on those. Next, we're going to do our tricep kickback. So you can be seated or standing. Remember, I'm suggesting we just keep our feet still and stationary this round because we're going back to lunges next. Okay. Let's get ready and begin. So I'm really just trying to feel those triceps working. When my arms are lengthened, I'm talking to the back of my arms and saying squeeze, right? It's your mind muscle connection. We strengthen that connection by repeatedly talking to that, by coming back and being consistent and every week just saying, talking to it, contract, feel, right? So continuous efforts are what, we don't have to come into something strong or with a lot of knowledge. We just have to give it continuous effort. Okay. 2 and 1. Okay, so that's round one. We've got 2 more rounds like that. I'm going to move to standing variation now. So if you're staying seated, we're back to an alternating seated leg press. Or if you'd like to go to a standing lunge or you're continuing to do that, let's get ready. Here we go. I'm stepping back. I'm lowering down. I'm driving through that front heel and I'm returning. Remember, it's really important to have that front heel remain in contact to the floor when you're lunging. Okay, so if you feel like it's popping up off the floor, I really want you to just slow down and try to assess what it is, the placement of your legs, where they need to go so that you can maintain that contact there. Okay, is your stance too wide? Is it too short? Are you trying to go down further than your body wants to? Just assess those things, okay? And focus on the quality of your repetitions and time. Whew, okay, get drinks whenever you need them. We're going into the rope pull next. Okay, seated or standing. Remember when you're standing, I'm just kind of like tucking my pelvis back and just kind of scooping like this. That helps keep my core engaged by squeezing the glutes like that. Remember, you're kind of pulling like, the best way I can describe it is like you're a little angry about something, right? You've got some intensity behind that, right? Or like something's stuck and you really gotta yank on it to get it to loosen up and come out, right? Don't go so hard that you feel like you're gonna hurt yourself, but you know, you want to find that intensity. Time. All right, tricep kickbacks here. Okay, so seated or standing. And remember, you can, you know, you might do a lot of these standing, but find, okay, for the triceps, I like doing these ones seated. Okay, that you play around with those options we have. Okay, my feet are underneath my hips, my toes are forward, and I'm focused on that contraction through the back of the arm. Squeeze. Remember, you can work on mind muscle connection without weights at all. You don't necessarily need weights to work on that contraction there. 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go through it one more time. And time on those, going back to the top. All right, starting with our lunges or alternating leg press. Okay. Final round through for these. Let's get ready and begin. We're going to step it back, lower down, drive it up, return. Good, halfway. Last 10 seconds here. 2, and time. Good. All right. Rope pull for the final time. Take your drinks as you need them. Let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, if you're standing, make sure you have those glutes engaged. Almost done these. We got 10 more seconds here. And we're going to finish off this circuit with our tricep kickbacks. 2, and 1. Okay, all done with those. Whew. All right, moving back to our tricep kickback, seated or standing. I'm just ever so slightly pushing my hips back here, just a little angle here. Okay, knees are not locked out, right? I'm not here. I got a nice little bend. Trying to stay comfortable through the joints, right? A little bend through my ankles, a little bend through my knees, a little bend through my hips. Focus on my arms are long there, talking to my triceps. Five more seconds here, and then we're going to move on. 2, and time. Excellent. Okay, so let's recover. Next, we are going to do 3 exercises that are all body weight here. Okay, so the first one is going to be our 3 count knee repeater. So standing, there's a little switch off so that we're always on the other foot. Okay, so I'm starting kind of staggered stance like this. Okay, and I'm gonna pull 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward, and now I'm set up on the other side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward, and now I'm set up on the other side. Okay, so there's a little switch off there. That does not happen if we're seated. Okay, so we just go right to the other after 1, 2, 3. We just go right to the other side. Okay, so a lot of core and hip flexor here. After that, we are going to do our grapevine. Okay, so either, either that or lateral 2-step. So it's, let me see, step, back, step, clap, step, back, step, clap. If that's confusing, just go step together, step, clap, step together, step, clap. Okay, so it's either together or that foot comes back. All right, now for our seated variation, we're just going to do lateral tap, lateral tap, lateral tap, lateral tap. And we can add some arms into that too. Okay. Okay. And then our last one is our kick back and our pull back tap. Tap. So seated, I'm tapping the toes back. I'm kind of towards the edge of my chair, so I have room to tap them back. And I'm pulling those arms back. Standing, you guys know the drill here. Okay. Pulling back. Okay, so that is our next block. We're going to feel our heart rate up on this one. Okay, so let's get ready with our alternating 3-count knee repeater. Remember, it's 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward, and then you're set up on the other side. Okay, round 1, I'm doing seated. 45 seconds is going on the clock. 3-count knee repeater. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. Remember, seated, I don't have to do that little switch off. Fifteen more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Woo. Okay, grapevine is next. Remember, when we're seated, we're just doing 2 lateral taps. Okay, get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. I'm gonna say this one's fun. I like this. You go at your own pace. Ten more seconds here. And then we're doing those kickbacks with the pull back. And time. Good. All right. So, whoo, next we are doing those ham curl kickbacks, and we're doing like a straight arm pullback. So I want you to think of really kind of like pulling through. The shoulder is moving versus the elbow. We're kind of keeping the arm straight as we, whether we're kicking back from a standing position or the seated. All right. Move at your own pace, okay? It's going to look different for all of us. You'll probably start to feel that body temperature increase even more with this circuit. Heart rate should be up here a little bit. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, that is round 1. Going back to the top with our 3-count knee repeater. Remember, if you're seated, that is just going to be switching from 3 knee repeaters on one side to the other. If you're standing with me, we do that little switch off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward. Back, forward. your head if it gets a little confusing. Two and one. Woo! Get those drinks. Grapevine is next, or your lateral two tap with the arms if you're seated. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Move at your own pace. Have fun with it. Three, 2, and 1. Woo-hoo. Okay, bottom of round 2, going back to those ham curl kickbacks with that straight arm pushback, okay? I'm kind of thinking of my palms like pushing something away from me here, and I'm moving through the shoulder, right? Here we go. You're standing, think of that foot staying flexed as you kick back, okay? Working the back of the leg here, strengthening the back of the leg, stretching the front. Ten more seconds here, and we're gonna go through it one more time. 3, 2, and time. Woo-hoo. Okay, one more time through here. So back to our 3 count knee repeaters, all right? Ready? And begin. 1, 2, 3. Halfway on this one. Almost there, less than 10 seconds. Got 5. And time. Whew. Remember, take your extra breaks, get your water breaks. All right, should be feeling it. I know my heart rate feels up. I feel slightly uncomfortable. Okay, it's not pain, right? We don't want to feel acute pain, grapevine. Here we go. But we do want to feel just a little bit outside of our comfort zone. Increasing that intensity some here. And I'll set a grapevine here. Good, almost done. We got 10 more seconds here. 5, 3, 2, and time. Okay, this is it, guys, right here. We've got our kickback with that straight arm push back, okay? So deep breath, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Okay, trying to keep that foot flexed. Show you from the side, flexed. Bringing that heel up towards my glutes with the flexed foot. Helps get the muscles working in the back of the leg. Whew, almost there. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and time. All right, guys. Oh, should be feeling that one. That's a wrap there. Okay, so let's go ahead and cool down here. All right. Get a drink and do some cool down exercises. All right. And what we're going to do is 30 seconds each move of these cool down exercises. You're either going to be seated or standing. If you're seated, you can just elevate your heels from that seated position, just like so, like this. Okay. Or standing, hold on to the back of your chair, and we're just going to lift and lower. Okay. We're just going to lift and lower through the heels for 30 seconds. All right. So let's get ready and begin here. So we're just cooling down with these movements. Okay, they're a lot less intense. All right, so just lift, lower. Again, this can be done seated too. Coming up to those tippy toes. If you want to just use one hand on your chair, if you're standing, you can do that. If you want to see what it feels like to do both hands without, challenge yourself a little, you can do that. We only have 5 more seconds here. Okay, good. Pick one foot and let's do some circles here. Okay, circles through the ankle. Just pick one. All right, whether you're seated or standing. And now let's go ahead and reverse the direction. Good. All right, let's go ahead and switch. Okay, so we're going to go to the other foot and circle in one direction. And now switch that direction. Good. All right, so now we are going to do hip circles. So come nice and wide with those feet and rotate through. Okay. If you're doing this seated, all right, it's more your upper body moving in that circular position, and it should feel like a nice deep stretch. So just rotate through, doing 30 seconds one direction. Cooling down here. 2 and 1. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the other direction. Ten more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're just going to reach back to center. Reach back to center. Seated or standing here, okay? Alternating your reaches. Should feel like you're cooling down here now. Your heart rate should be coming back down to normal. Two and 1. Good. All right, now from here, let's just do a neck and trap, whether you're seated or standing. We're just going to gently pull and press. Okay, so we're stretching out the neck here in this upper trapezius area. Deep breath. Good. Come back to center. Same thing, other side. Gently pressing and then reaching with the hand. And take some nice deep cleansing breaths. Good. Final stretch here. We're just going to do our forward fold on the back of our chair here. Okay, so just reaching forward, trying to create that 90-degree bend through the hips. Feet can be about shoulder width apart or so. And you're just kind of feeling that stretch through the back of the body, through the back of the hamstrings, through your lower body, your lower back, your spine, and also through the back of the shoulder blades here. And when you're ready, just gently walk that up. Okay, and we're going to take a nice big inhale up. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart. And one more time, just like that, inhale up. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart. All right, guys, it's great to be back. I hope you enjoyed today's class.